By now, we all know how AI is becoming an integral part of our lives. People are using it to learn faster, work faster, and build things with fewer resources than ever before. And a lot of that is genuinely helpful. But when a tool becomes that powerful that quickly, a very predictable thing happens. We start leaning more on the tool, and at the same time, we stop doing the critical thinking ourselves and increase the reliability on that tool. So this video is not about being afraid of AI, and it's not about overhyping it either. It's about understanding, in a very realistic way, where AI strengthens decision making and where it weakens it when we rely on it without applying our own critical thinking process. Especially now, when AI is shaping everyday decisions in 2026. And of course, we'll analyze all of this using my signature 3P lens: the practical lens, the profitable lens, and the purposeful lens. Let's begin. Let's start with something we are already seeing clearly in education. Students today are using AI to explain concepts, summarize chapters, and answer questions. And on the surface, it actually feels incredibly effective. People feel confident very quickly, and they believe they've understood the material. But when you test for actual understanding later, the knowledge and the concepts don't stick that well with students. And it's not that the students are not putting in their own effort, but because their thinking process or their critical thinking ends too early. The explanation sounded good, so the brain assumed the work was done. And the same pattern is now moving into workplaces. In 2026, many people will use AI to draft strategies, analyze problems, and suggest decisions. And most of the time, the output will sound reasonable. But that's also exactly the risk. When something sounds confident and well-structured, we are less likely to question it and more likely to overlook the gaps. Where AI works best, practically, is when it helps you explore possibilities. It's great for first drafts and looking at different angles or options that you might not have considered before. Where it starts to cause problem is when you let go of that critical thinking process that usually comes before a decision. Responsible use in practice looks like this. AI helps you think wider, but you still take responsibility for that final judgment. Now let's talk about business and startups, because this is where the hype is the loudest. Right now, there's a strong belief that being AI first automatically means being smarter, faster, or more competitive. And yes, AI absolutely lowers the cost of building and experimenting with new ideas. That part is real. But it doesn't lower the cost of being wrong. In fact, it can even raise the costs. Because mistakes in this case scale faster. We're already seeing this pattern across different parts of the startup ecosystem. For some companies, their presentations sound data-driven and their stories are very convincing. But in a few of these cases, the understanding behind those decisions is still limited, relying more on polished AI-generated outputs than real understanding. This is not new. We've seen similar patterns during earlier tech waves too, where tools made execution easier, but they didn't help people choose the right direction. In 2026, the businesses that do well will not be the ones that use AI everywhere. They will be the ones that are selective. They'll use AI heavily in execution, but they will also be cautious in strategy pricing, positioning, and irreversible choices. Profit won't come from being the fastest. It will come from wasting less effort in the wrong direction. There's another shift that doesn't get talked about enough. As AI starts influencing more decisions, responsibility becomes harder to trace. Because decision making is now increasingly shared between people and systems. It has become really easy for people to say, "That's what the model suggested," instead of, "This is a decision our team reviewed and approved." But trust doesn't work that way. In systems where AI already plays a role, like finance or content moderation, people deeply care about one main thing: who's answerable when something goes wrong. In 2026, this will matter even more. Organizations that make human accountability visible will build more trust than those that defer decisions entirely to automated systems. Responsible AI, at its core, is not about limiting technology. It's about being clear that outcomes still belong to people. So, time to look at all the 3 Ps together. Practically, AI makes work faster and easier, but it still needs human critical thinking alongside it. Profitably, it lowers execution costs, but judgment errors can scale just as fast. Purposefully, it can support decisions, but the responsibility still sits with people. In 2026, the real focus won't be choosing between human critical thinking and AI. It will be understanding how these two work best together. That balance is what responsible AI actually looks like. As always, the research studies used in this video are linked down below. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep building a better you.